So welcome to another edition of Travelstart's FAQ Friday with me, Nick Paul. After the success of the visa-free islands post we did a couple of weeks ago, we thought we'd look at the most visa-free place on earth that you can go to, or the most visa-free continent, and that is actually South America. 76% of the countries are visa-free for South Africans, 92% of the land, so it's obviously there's a lot that you can see there. The only countries that are not visa-free are going to be countries like French Guiana, Suriname and Bolivia. So let's quickly look at how you get there. The easiest way is definitely on the direct flight on SAA from Johannesburg to Sao Paulo. From there you can connect on to a number of other cities. You can also fly airlines like Emirates and Qatar Airways and Turkish Airlines who also do fly there. Obviously the flights will be a lot longer though. So let's start up at the top of South America looking at the visa-free countries. Venezuela is right up there. It's obviously got a reputation of being a bit of a pariah state, but there are loads of beautiful places that you can go and see. If you've ever watched a David Attenborough documentary, you would have seen a lot of Venezuela in there. It's also home to the Angel Falls, the highest waterfalls in the world. Moving on to Colombia, also got a bad rap in the press for many, many years, but it's home to some beautiful cities. It's also on the Caribbean, so some beautiful beaches there as well. Where things really start to get interesting is when you head on south to places like Ecuador. Ecuador was mentioned in our previous video as well regarding the Galapagos Islands, which it's famous for, but it's also famous for the Andes running through it and some beautiful, beautiful volcanoes and some beautiful tropical scenery. Its capital, Quito, is actually very interesting. It's very close to the equator, but it's about as high above sea level as the Drakensberg, meaning it has a very, very mild climate. Temperatures never go below about 9 degrees at night and never really go above 20 degrees during the day. It's got one of the mildest climates in the world. Moving on down from there, you've got Peru. Peru is obviously famous for being home of the Incas. Beautiful mountains there where the Incas used to live. Machu Picchu is its famous historical site. Tourists the world over have been going there for a very, very long time. But apart from that, you can also visit Lake Titicaca, which is the highest navigable lake in the world, which means it's the highest lake that you can actually sail a boat on. It's home to some fascinating culture. The Uru people who live there actually build floating reed islands, which they actually live on. Something weird about Peru, and you only ever think of it about the mountains, obviously the Andes that run through it, but it's also home to huge swathes of Amazon jungle, and many of the Amazon cruises that you actually go on leave from Iquitos in Peru. So it's not just Brazil where you find the Amazon River there. Moving on south from there, you head on to Chile. Chile is a massive country, 4,200 kilometers long, which is about the distance from Johannesburg to Port Harcourt in Nigeria, but only about 445 kilometers wide at its widest point. It's home to amazing dry deserts in the far north, which are some of the driest deserts in the world, all the way on down to sceneries that look like Norway, where you've got fjords and you've got glaciers and you've got some incredible mountains down on the bottom over there. From there you can move on across to Argentina, obviously home to the beautiful mountains that you find in Chile because they run along the border, all the way through to beautiful, beautiful, colorful Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is home to the tango, and of course Argentina is home to some enormous steaks. If you head on up from there, you're gonna be going to places like the Iguazu Falls, which are on the border with Brazil. So Brazil also famous for the Iguazu Falls. You're also going to find some beautiful island scenery, like we mentioned in the previous video as well. There was Ilha Grande there and the nearby town of Paraty. Beautiful scenery, and Rio is obviously stunning as well. Moving on from Rio up the coast, you're going to head to places like Salvador. Salvador is a stunning old colonial town, some beautiful Portuguese architecture there. And of course, Brazil is also famous for that Amazon River. If you're wanting to do the whole list of visa-free countries, you could probably also pop into Guyana, Paraguay and Uruguay as well, and then you will have completed your entire visa-free South American trip. So that's it for this week. If you've got any travel-related questions, please ask them in comments below. We may turn them into a video next week. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks.